Hello, my name is Dante Renee from the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1987's Savage Harbor, aka Death Feud. And what I'm holding in my hand right now is this beautiful bottom loading slipcase from Vinegar Syndrome's new label, Vinegar Syndrome Archive. They're hand numbered on the top. This is number 71 of 2500. And I bought this during their May halfway to Black Friday sale 2019. But this is a beautiful film right here that we're going to be looking at, Savage Harbor and Death Feud. And yes, Frank Stallone is in this film, as you can see here. But keep your eyes open because there are many people, many faces. If you are a fan of exploitation films and horror films, especially from the I would say 80s, early 80s, and so on, you are going to see a lot of faces in here, especially two girls from a movie that I looked at on this YouTube page from Jim Wynorski called Hard to Die. And those girls are also in Sorority House Massacre Part 2, aka Nighty Nightmare. But we're going to be looking at Savage Harbor and Death Feud. This is 1987, one of my favorite years for music and film in a lot of regards, always following me throughout my life. But keep your eyes open. There are plenty of faces in here that you are going to recognize from the exploitation world. This film drips sleaziness. It drips a mean-spirited, crass beauty, prostitution, drug addiction, strippers, romance, pimps, car chases, fist fights, street fights, dragging behind a vehicle tied up, sex, shooting. We have so much here. A homosexual guy who runs a motel filled with hookers. A bartender who I'm just in love with. A crime lord that I'm just in love with. The sound of his voice, the look of him. He's another breed. He's from another school. A friendship between two military guys. And a world of white slavery. This is a movie where I would say a few minutes doesn't go by without there being sleaze just dripping from this movie. This is an exploitation film. This is a sexploitation film just because of the sleaziness of it all. And it's a violent movie as well, with great characters, great exploitation characters, great relationships, a fierceness and romance and tenderness. This is a wild, wild exploitation film. And I got to tell you, Marty Rustam is very quickly becoming one of my favorite, in this film, he produced the film, and he's actually in the film as well near the end. But he's becoming like one of my favorite movie makers, okay? I know that he also was behind the production of Tobe Hooper's Eaten Alive, which I absolutely am obsessed with. And, of course, he also was behind Evils of the Night, which I've looked at on this YouTube page, which I absolutely love. And the man himself, whenever he touched films, it seemed to drip a sleaze, a dirtiness to his films, and they're absolutely beautiful. Savage Harbor has rape, and it has vengeance, and it has a no holds barred attitude and world. This is a movie that would not be made today in 2019. And this is why I don't concern myself with what's going on today. Instead, I concern myself with what's going on here. Savage Harbor has a score that has 80s synth, 80s action, romantic orchestration, as well as some dark orchestration. But the score is minimal. The music is minimal in the film. It's in the background or not there at all, but in sections of the film. And it's done in a minimalistic way that is very interesting. We also have some 80s pop music in here as well, especially in the closing credits of the movie and in the strip club. I really fell in love with the locations here. I mean, we're predominantly in one section of the grimy city. And I fell in love with the strip club and the motel and the hotel and the boat and the, excuse me, there's just I fell in love with the locations. I fell in love with the characters, almost as if it could be a video game from the 80s, And stylistically, we have some great neon colors in this film, neon reds and such. We have some romantic montages with a haze over the screen. We have some artistic type of hallucinations and dream sequences in here as well. We also have parental abuse and teen runaways. So we have a lot of stuff going on in here. Everything that would be cutting edge and politically incorrect and really 1987. The beauty of 1987. Well, you can pop this on and be in this world right here. Beautiful cinematography in this film. We have this great beginning of the movie from a beach location. It's a non-stop film where we have, as I stated, non-stop sleaze, non-stop just interest to me, because I've always been interested in films that deal with the sex trade or white slavery, prostitution, pimps, all of that. And if you've ever seen the film Sinful Dwarf, you will, there might be some ties between Sinful Dwarf and this film as well, but that's all I'm going to say. Savage Harbor is the cream of the crop for me for exploitation films, and I was frankly shocked. It's a violent movie, not gory, a violent film. The fights seem brutal to me and real, and the stunts seem batshit crazy. Like, I don't know how they did them, especially at the being dragged by a car, and the idea of just the rampant nudity and lingerie and talk of sex and talk of oh man, sex is just oozing every couple minutes in this film as a plot line and as part of the storyline, and that's part of the world of Savage Harbor. This is a fantastic film, and one that I didn't know I was looking for, but I was looking for. We have some great slow motion in this movie as well, and we also have, just to me, brutal, awesome gun violence in this movie. Also, I've always been a fan of, in movies with just a level of brutality that this film has and doesn't shy away from. We have women getting punched in the face like crazy in this movie. The shootings are just brutal and very realistic, and great sequences in here. Excellent sequences. All around amazing movie right here. Savage Harbor, 1987. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like Savage Harbor, aka Death Feud. Thank you so much, and please feel free to check out my own personally made films at vimeo.com/poopy diarrhea, Poopy diarrhea. You can follow my own movies there. Thank you so much, and good night.